Well, it says I'm live. Let's see. Yeah, the wind. The wind. Yes, the wind. Um, if you want to keep this place nailed down, Ko-Fi.com, the blanket fort. We do appreciate your support, folks. We really do. And King Arms Coffee, they are literally our support and our lifeline because they give us coffee.
They keep people from dying.
Yeah,
Not us, people around us.
yeah. Well, there is that. So let them know you heard about it here. And they do have the Blanket Fort blend. It is actually a nice little mild coffee. And our friend has the Among the Leaves tees, snarky t-shirts, and some really good ones, especially with 7 days to go, shall we say. And I did vote this morning, wherever it is. There it is, over there. Anyway, I voted. Uh, Coffee Capers is coming soon, yes. Well, John is going to be bouncing back and forth because Ian's out of pocket. And when I say out of pocket, he had other stuff that he had to be doing this morning. John is going to jump in after my rants.
Yes.
Plural. Oh, I guess I get more than one today.
Get two rants.
Okay.
Two rants. Then you get them done.
Well, I'll start with the old military rant. This little piece of crap, DoD Directive 5240.01, DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities and defense intelligence component assistance to law enforcement agencies and other civil authorities. Got that through a number of sources yesterday, including a number of back channels from a number of military folks that do strange things for a living. Very concerned for a lot of reasons. One of which, probably the biggest, is levels of authority. Subject to paragraph 3.1, DIA components may provide personnel to assist federal departments, agencies, including law enforcement and state or local law enforcement agencies, when lives are in danger in response to a request for such assistance in accordance with the following approved authorities. Secretary of Defense approval may approve any type of requested permissible assistance described in paragraph 3.2. Decision to approve regular requests for these types of permissible assistance are reserved for the Secretary of Defense. Yada, 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 yada. In effect, a lot of folks are looking at this going, this is an end run around posse comitatus, to put it bluntly. The reason I say that is anybody that is under SOCOM, according to the current administration, is considered an intelligence asset. So that means Navy SEALs, Green Beret, Recon Marines, any of the airborne assets like Global Hawk, the Navy's MQ-4 Triton, which, by the way, the Navy just set up their third orbit over Fifth Fleet yesterday, which is one hell of a upgrade, considering they were only officially IOC'd a year ago. So they've now got an orbit in the Med, an orbit in East China Sea, and an orbit over the Fifth Fleet. But if DoD gives permission, any of those assets can be used in the United States down to the local law enforcement level.
So when the door kickers come in, it won't necessarily be SWAT. It may be somebody a little better prepared.
Yeah, that's not without the realm of possibility. The
Glad I don't have any children in elementary school that I want to protect from the current teachings.
the communities that I'm aware of are very concerned about this for a lot of reasons, most of which I will not go into on here because you don't give away operational considerations. The other thing that we're looking at is, and the reason I held up the armadillos, because that's about what most of us feel like. You know, can we just curl up in a ball and get through the next week? Yeah, I'm second NDAs, Greg. You're right. I think all of us are sick and tired of being sick and tired. And all of us have had about our fill of I'll just say it, the bullshit that we're seeing in the media, through the mainstream media, and everywhere else. Interestingly, apparently the Washington Post, since they refused to give an endorsement to Kamala, has lost 200,000 subscribers in the last 2 days. So that's about supposedly 8% of their subscriber base.
I didn't realize the government had that many subscriptions.
I didn't either. Yeah, Rick, that's a good point. Way too much fucking around going on and not much finding out yet. Next week, let's face it, folks, next week's going to be interesting.
No, the week after that, when Kamala wins by 80 million votes.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, good to see you.
Especially since there'll be 300 million cast and only 300 million people in the country.
Yeah. Like that infamous Pennsylvania district that had 104% of the reported ballots cast. And interestingly, 99% of them were for one party. Yeah. But that's not fraud and abuse. No. Sorry, Doug. No, Raptor, I don't think it's that interesting yet. But quite frankly, a lot of people are hunkering down right now. And I can't say that I blame them. Yeah, we definitely got wind. Yeah. I think I saw a cactus go by a while ago with the roots still attached.
We don't have to worry till we see the house go by with the ruby slippers sticking out from underneath.
And this is true.
And they're not my shoes. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yes, Rick, ballot drop boxes have been burned. Apparently 2 have been burned in Portland, Oregon.
Yep.
And 1 somewhere up in the Seattle area.
It was in Clark County. That's traditionally Republican.
Oh, Clark County? Okay. Raptor, I've watched Serenity, but that was a long time ago. It's only fraud if the Republicans do it. Yeah. When you see the little lady riding by on the bike, you're in trouble. Yeah.
That was not me on the bike.
Yeah. Jonna said it will not be her. Yeah, the house go by with giant chicken legs. Yeah. If Baba Yaga gets all the way over here, we got a problem.
Time to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I might vote for her for president as opposed to what's currently in power.
That's an option, yes. Hey, Padre. In all honesty, though, it's going to be an interesting week. Jonna's the good witch.
Depends on the day and how much coffee. I'm so not the good witch. Because I don't look that good in white. So as I was saying to you earlier, I'm kind of looking forward to getting past election season and into riot season.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, I think riot season will at least have better visuals, and I won't have to listen to Kamala cackling quite so much. I'll just get to watch buildings burn and you know people running around in the streets. That will be fun.
Yeah.
Let's do that instead.
Mostly peaceful.
Mostly peaceful.
Yeah.
So.
Kermit says you'll be riding a Harley, not a Schwinn anyway.
Yeah, likely.
Yeah. Hillary, Baba Yaga, same difference. Yeah, that's about right,
Yeah,
Padre.
pretty much.
Bobby Yaga's got better legs.
Do we have to stop wearing white after election day? Yeah, especially with the white with the red circles on it. Yes. Greg says I still have my January 6th decorations up. Yeah, Hillary has persecuted a lot of people.
Her mere presence is persecution.
Yeah.
So,
I want to say right now that I have no evidence of any wrongdoing by Hillary or Bill.
The Arkansas totals, I think, are up around 59 or 60 now.
59
59.
this week.
Yeah, this week. Yeah.
So who knows about next week?
I have no evidence of any wrongdoing by Hillary or Bill or any of their associates.
Yeah, Sarah. Agreed. As long as the mostly peaceful stays in the cities.
The reason I moved to Texas.
Yeah. Monica wasn't exactly a maiden. Yeah. After the fact, yes, that was true. Before, yeah, who knows? We have fall is falling, except it's coming in sideways. We have got 25 gusting to 40 today, and it's truly gusting to 40. I mean, most of y'all know I wear 2 hearing aids now. And when the wind gets to whipping, the hearing aids go nuts. And you get this high-pitched squeal.
That's your ears vibrating.
It's the ears vibrating, and it gives you a friggin' headache. Yeah, so anyway, we're dealing with that. Hopefully they've got the fire out up in Wichita Mountains. Yeah, Tom. Kind of like being back on the carrier deck, except you can't lean into it because it's not steady enough. You know, we could never beat the pictures of the guys on the destroyers, you know, with a 30-degree lean. What you never got to see, though, was the poor son of a bitch trying to take the picture. Because he's either got an arm or a leg wrapped around a stanchion or over a lifeline, and he's trying to hold the camera and focus it as the ship and the people do this, and then they go the other way.
Always an adventure.
Yeah.
Of course, you mentioned the Wichita Mountains and the fire up there. I had to go to KC yesterday.
Yeah.
And on the way back, we saw the mountains.
Yeah.
Didn't see any smoke, so that was
That's
good.
good.
But I was on my way back, and I looked at them, and I finally figured out what the Wichita Mountains look like to me.
Yeah.
They've looked familiar ever since I've been down here. In Ohio in the fall, late summer and early fall, we get ready for winter.
Yeah.
To get ready for winter, you get huge piles of sand and salt, and we don't have enough housing for them, so you're piled on large areas of light ground.
Yeah.
The Wichita Mountains look like those piles of salt.
Oh, yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Only not quite as big.
Yeah. It's got something delivered to the house. Hopefully my neighbor catches it as it goes by. Yeah. Rick says there's some fun photos of subs doing angles and dangles. Running at a 30-degree up angle can be fun. Maybe for you, Rick. I was on one submarine that did that. I do not want to do it again because the crash back was not fun.
Yeah.
AJ chimed in and says, try walking around the engine rooms on metal deck plates with a coating of lube oil everywhere. No.
Especially considering how hot some of those
Yeah.
pipes are.
Hey, Richard.
Hi, gang. Thought I'd come over and sit down for a minute because I have happy news.
Hey.
Look.
Oh,
Yeah.
Giant Stalking Robots is number 2.
Number 2 in science fiction anthologies, right behind The Last Dangerous Visions. Yay. So we had an adventure with this one because Amazon got way behind on their Kindle queue. There was a whole bunch of Kindle books stacked up.
Yeah.
Chuck and I were like tearing hair out all weekend trying to figure out why it was taking so long to get the book out because the paperback went right up with no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently it wasn't just us. There was a whole bunch of folks who were having all kinds of issue. But now Giant Stomping Robots is out. It's number 2 behind Harlan Ellison, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
So, and the other fun part of that, we have a great story. We got a bunch of great stories in that one.
Yeah.
We have a Kevin Eichenberry story that's like, damn. And of course, Mike, I will say, Mike Burke, our own Spearman Burke, I think he has the best story in there.
He's on here too.
I know. And he's gonna dig his toe in the carpet and go, oh shucks, right? So but it's a really good one. It's a really good story. So, and Jesse Slater, another one of our guys, are standing up nice and tall right next to some really big names in that one.
Yeah.
And Cal had his birthday yesterday.
Yep.
Cal Spriggs is in it. So pretty pleased with this one. Good work, guys. Good work on that one. So you should go look at that one.
Got a couple of stories. I'm a couple of stories into it. It's good.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in
Yeah.
there. So, right? So that's a fun one. Anyway, so that's kind of nice to see. Number 2. So maybe we can kick Harlan out of the first place. If he's a short little sucker, we can do that. So
No comment.
did you know his house was built so anybody who was like taller than like 5'8" had to duck to get through doorways? And he was this tiny little guy. So anyway.
I could believe it. Egotism does strange things.
Yeah, well, no, he was. You've never met him.
No.
I did several times, but
Yeah.
man, he was like, you know, some people just have presence when you walk in a room and just kind of take over space. I would know nothing about this.
Yeah.
Harlan was like that. I mean, he just filled an entire space with his energy. But this book, he just never got anywhere with.
Yeah.
The Last Dangerous Visions. But his executor managed to finish it up and put in some really great stuff.
Yeah.
So that's actually a collection that's not quite so dangerous now as it was when he first was advertising for the stories.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
From what I understand about Harlan, never met him. Never had any desire to, but that's beside the point. From what I understand, I could believe the short windows in the house simply because, from what I understand, he could be very petty about things.
And we wasn't even so much petty as that. Well, Harlan taught me something very important because he was always like, he's in your face instantly kind of guy, you know, and he was at one of Herb's parties and I asked him at the party, I said, so, because I was like 19 when I first met him. It's a little tiny baby science fiction reader, but I'd read a bunch of his stuff and it was like, oh my God, Harlan Ellison is right here, you know? And I said, so why are you so like in your face? And he says, well, if you're my size and you go all the way to the wall on the first step, people are more likely to back off. So if you just make it very clear, you're going all the way to the wall on the first step. And anyway, he knows that, right? And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But when he wasn't feeling defensive, he was actually a remarkably interesting man to talk to. But, you know, Herb, John Farley, is 6 feet 6 inches tall. So there's like Herb Harlan, right? Yeah. So apparently Harlan cackled with great glee when Herb visited his house in Los Angeles because he had to like stand like this in the whole place. So anyway.
That kind of reminds me of the story of Shaq. When he built his first house.
Yeah, right.
Specifying that all the door frames had to be 7 foot 6 inches high.
Yes.
And all the ceilings had to be 12 feet.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to be able to stretch.
Well, yeah, and stand up.
Yeah.
I mean.
And having to have his bed specially made.
Mm-hmm.
You know, which is a problem with most of those guys.
Yeah. Well, when they stand like in the like stadium door frames and they're just like leaning like their elbow and it's on the top of the door frame and they're up over the top of it. And, you know, when I'm sitting at a table and I look up and I see a knee, you know, this knee at table height. So
back before the basketball players got so huge.
Yeah.
I'm standing in line at the airport.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
And I turn around and I'm looking somebody right in the butt.
Yeah. You're like, oh, hello.
Yeah, Sarah, you've got that problem already.
Right.
I wound up in line for an airplane right behind the Lakers.
Oh, man. Right.
And I'm going, and those guys, weren't as tall as, you know, Shaq and the ones today were, but they were still huge back in the 70s.
Yeah.
And what struck me, was not that they were tall.
Yeah.
Okay, that's basketball players. I understand.
Yeah.
No, it's the fact that these guys were not just tall; they were massive. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
you don't see it on TV, but they got arms bigger than my thighs,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
all muscle.
Well, and a guy's standard measurement shoulder to shoulder, it's about 20, 21 inches.
Yeah.
These guys are normally like 25,
Yeah.
24, 25, which for suit coats is kind of a pain because
Yeah.
then you get into the Omar the tent maker coats
Yeah.
and you can't, they're cut like this as
Yeah.
opposed to like this. It's the reason they get special suits made. So,
You talk about getting on an elevator. I'll never forget. I was out in Japan in 2012, and been working all day. Come back in, walk in the barracks. I'm half asleep. It's 8, 9 o'clock at night. Poke the elevator button, and I realized about the same thing. I'm looking at 4 guys' navels. Damn,
hello.
Globetrotters in town. And one of the guys looked down and goes, "Yep,
Yep.
that's us." Hi, guys.
Nice to see you.
Sorry I won't make any of your shows, but I love the Globetrotter.
Yeah. So Dave Butler,
Yeah.
He's what? What do you think? He's like 6'6"?
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah, he's up there, right? And his friend Dave West is like barely 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Dave is snazzy dresser. Dave West always has the best shoes and
Yeah.
really nice shirts and stuff.
Well,
And
hell,
they-
he only plays half price.
I
so-
know, right? Yes. But we went to lunch a couple of years ago in Las Vegas at 20 bucks.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny watching Dave Butler fold himself like a giant praying mantis down underneath a table at the
Yeah.
lunch place. And I realized that I was actually looking him straight in the face. And
Yeah.
I was like, so Dave, I said, it's really nice to actually have lunch with you. And he says, why? And I said, because now I'm not talking to your nose hair. And Dave West lost it. He started laughing. And he says, well, it's kind of nice not talking to your part. So,
Well, the other problem that those
Cute.
guys have is cars.
yeah. I mean,
And
could you
trucks.
imagine that? Yeah. I mean,
Our,
well, just my ex-husband, Tim, we had to go
Yeah.
try on trucks. So
Yeah.
it's crazy.
our friend Daryl Waddleton, the cop here,
Ooh.
he can only fit in a Yukon, and then barely that.
Yeah. No room.
Yeah.
And it's Frederick Brown's 118th birthday.
I knew a guy in the
Truly
army
amazing writer.
who was very tall, and all he drove was subcompacts.
Yeah.
But he drove them from the back seat.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So I had a friend who drove a Miata, but he was a huge guy.
Yeah.
He was like big, huge guy. And the guy apparently got up in his face because he thought the Miata was
Yeah.
being stupid on the road. And he just put his arm out and put his knuckles on the ground next to him. And the guy went,
Yeah.
never mind, and left. So,
Well, he didn't get in the car; he put the car on.
yeah, right. Yeah. Just
Uh,
strap that sucker on and go.
yeah.
And it's like little mini transformers running around. It's kind of cute.
There
So,
was a funny interview years ago with Shaq. He had finally gotten on Ferrari's buy list and got this Ferrari. I
oh my
think it was
God.
a 458 or something
Oh.
like that,
Yeah.
and it was topless. So he got in it, and the top of the windshield hit him
Yeah.
right under the nose,
Bugs in the teeth.
and it was like, and then you see him trying to get out of it, and he finally gets out of it, and he goes, "Well, I guess there's a reason that I can't own Ferraris."
Yeah.
And he turned around and walked away,
Well,
and
yeah.
apparently sold the car the next day.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
if you can't get into it, I mean, you practically have to fall out of. Well, you had to give up your fancy little Cadillac sports car.
Well, I
because you
can't
had- 'cause
get in and out.
Well, yeah. I mean, these guys get beat up too, but you
Yeah.
have to like fall out sideways and then stand up to get out of those cars. It's
Yeah.
insane. So, not fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, Tom, you do have a bit of a problem.
Yeah. Tom is not tiny. So,
Well,
Yeah.
I used to be in a work for a company that transported cars
oh, fun. Okay.
from auctions to car lots to
Yeah.
auctions.
Yeah.
What was funny was they'd come up and they'd say, "Okay, we got a Yukon,"
hmm
and you get the guy who was 5 foot tall trying to get into the Yukon.
Yeah.
I can remember a couple of times when I'm going, "Okay, do they have a rope ladder that I can hang down from the
This is
door?"
my daughter's truck. When I went back to Oregon, she's got a Tacoma.
Yeah.
And giant tires, and it's already lifted anyway. And I just kind of stood there next to it, and literally my eye level was like right at the seat in the truck. And I'm like,
The one
And
I'm
she-
thinking of,
yeah.
my eye level was at the bottom of the door.
yeah, right, yeah. And you're like, how do you do this? And it was funny because she's like, I'm ready.
Yeah.
So she, at the airport, she ran around, got up the stool and put it down, and a bunch of people standing there thought, oh, that's cute. So, and that's with running boards and everything. I still couldn't get into
But
the damn
well,
thing.
But worse than those of us that were short trying to get into, and I'm not that short, I'm average.
Yeah.
Worse than those was we had to a lot of times change who was assigned to a car because they didn't assign them by size; they assigned them.
Yeah, by whoever was
rotation.
next, right? Yeah.
And the number of guys we had that looked at a Miata and said, and I'm not talking about height so much,
Yeah.
but some of the guys were a little rotund.
Portly. They're portly.
There's no way they can get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
And certainly not be able to turn it after they got behind it.
Well,
Yeah.
when you're short and you have short legs, and then you have to pull the seat all the way forward, and it's like, I want to get one of those archery guards for your arm, but
Yeah.
instead for the nipples, right? Because you can't turn the steering wheel. There's no room. So kind of crazy. So
I do remember seeing a, shall we say, overweight lady.
plush.
Yeah.
Plush in a number of directions. Yes.
She was double plush in a Geo Metro.
Oh,
In
yeah.
traffic.
Yeah.
And I was looking down at the car,
Mm-hmm.
and she is like this.
Yeah.
And she's got maybe 3 inches of movement.
Yeah.
It's all she could do with the steering wheel.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there thinking, what would happen if she had to make a sudden movement
Yeah.
with that car? She could not possibly do
No,
it.
she wouldn't be able to. Yeah.
I knew a
So-
girl that was 4'8",
Mm-hmm.
and one night she got drunk.
Man.
Oh, joy. That took 2 drinks, right?
About that. But I mean, she was probably had 4 or 5 because she was out.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay. So I take her out and pour her into her car. And she's like, I got to get home. The kids are home by themselves. Okay. I'll drive her home in her car.
Yeah. That's very nice of you. So
Hey, I was still relatively sober. And
Yeah.
I was actually wanting to meet her and get a chance to talk to her when she was sober at some point.
Yeah.
oh well, there you go.
Because she was cute,
Yeah.
just half-sized.
Well, and this whole like white knight thing of driving her home puts you in
Yeah.
good stead, right? So
Well, you know,
until
there's
you
no
went to
hope.
get in the car.
until you try to get in the car.
Yeah. And she had it all the way forward.
Well, yeah.
And it was had been adjusted, so it had blocks on the brake, and
Yeah. Yeah.
so I'm trying to get in this car, and I finally got the seat back.
Yeah.
And I get in, and then I'm trying to put my feet on the pedals because,
And
by the
your
way, it was a standard.
knees were up around your
Right.
belt.
You're like,
Yeah.
Well, the problem was I could not readily shift because with my foot on the pedals with that block on them,
Yeah.
yeah.
the dash was in the way.
Yeah. So you're like scraping your shins every time you try to move. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not fun.
Yeah.
It really isn't fun. So
A friend of ours left her truck with me when she went to.
oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, I had to move the truck,
Well, she has a little tiny truck, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and she's small anyway.
yep. Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think about it. Went out, got the keys, went to get in it.
Ah.
Crammed myself halfway in and went, oh shit,
Yeah.
I'm stuck.
Yeah, it's like when Deej wants to use my car because Deej is tall. He's
Yeah.
like 6'3", and I'm 5'4", and he wants to use the car to go do some errands and stuff. I'm like, put the seat back before you get in because you'll wreck your knees otherwise. Just
Well, my leg started cramping, and then I couldn't get my damn leg out. And I couldn't reach the seat to move it back.
trapped. You're trapped in the car.
Oh.
It's like crazy. So
I have actually had someone have to come over to the car,
Yeah.
open the door, reach in, and push the little lever for me.
yep, it's because I'm stuck. It's no fun.
Oh, Jerry, yeah, the triple plush, a lady in an aircraft restroom.
No, sure.
Those do not always work well.
No, it can be a little entertaining sometimes.
Sharing a row in an airplane seat with 2 of those ladies.
Yeah, tell me about it. Being one of those ladies. So
No,
yeah.
no, you're small.
Oh no, I'm
compared to
small
some of them.
compared. I can keep all myself in one
Yeah.
little spot,
No,
but it's
these-
like
the 2 ladies I'm thinking of could not.
no.
They needed the third seat between
Well,
them.
okay, I will say in their defense that the seats are like 12 inches wide.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not like the airlines are making that easier for
Well,
anybody.
Being
so,
a man that has that dread disease, no acetol,
yeah,
I've
right.
never had a problem with the width of the seats.
Yeah.
Elbow room.
Rick, interesting you mentioned that small body sizes. 5 and 10% of Asian females are small. Yes. However, in Japan, in the last 10 years, they've started running into problems because the Japanese girls that are growing up now are actually getting full nutrition.
They're bigger than the guys from the last generation.
They are bigger than the men.
Yeah.
The average Japanese female, young female, now averages 5'7".
Mm-hmm.
The average Japanese male averages 5'6".
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's really stunning when you get on a train and you see a variety of ages and a variety of sizes.
Yeah.
The old mama-san,
Mm-hmm.
dressed in
Tiny.
the traditional clothing,
Yes. Tiny,
is not even 5 feet tall
tiny, tiny, tiny. So
and very, very
Oop. dropping things.
intense, I guess is the best way I would say it.
Yes, I think intense is an excellent word.
Yeah.
So does not lack for personality.
Oh, God, no. You know,
Well, it's like little
one
Italian
glare-
grandmas.
One glare will clean out the
Well, I
entire
mean,
train.
Well, okay,
you know.
so yeah, Italian grandmas and Japanese grandmas, they all have that very intense glare.
Yeah.
I understand where they get it because when you get to a certain age, you kind of lose the ability to have a filter
Yeah.
and patience with any kind of nonsense.
Yeah.
So, right? I mean, as we get older, there's like you're not subject to any more of this crap, and you don't have to put up with it.
What's this filter thing you're talking about?
I know, right? I mean, what is this? Right?
Well,
See, some of us never had one.
Yeah, what little filter I had fell out when I turned 50. So, and I just don't have it. So,
the other
anyway.
thing is the Italian women.
hmm. And
the-
poor-
the-
and Hispanic women with that flip flop
the-
throw.
well, the
Damn.
duenas. I'm talking about the
Oh yes,
the
Whoa,
duenas.
Wow.
in their black morning dress
Yes.
that they've worn for 40 years,
Yes.
in high heels,
Uh huh.
strolling down a cobblestone street,
Yes. Perfection, missing every single crack, walking beautifully.
and talking the entire time.
Yes, Italian women have calves of iron. They really do. After being in Italy 5 times,
Yeah.
I'm like, they're walking, beautifully dressed,
Yeah.
striding down the street in these like spike heels
Yep.
on these streets that I mean, I can barely navigate in tennis shoes
Yeah.
without like feeling, wow, just astounding, absolutely astounding,
But even here,
but stunningly beautiful. So
even here in the States, Jim, you and I are of average height for
yeah,
men.
pretty much.
As long as we're talking men over 40.
Yeah.
When I was a young man in the Army, came home on leave and went back to see one of my old teachers at the middle school. And thought I was going to break my shins on the water fountains in the hallway.
Oh man.
Now you go back and you walk by a high school,
Yeah.
and it's like, is this an episode of the Land of the Giants?
Yeah.
Right. Well, okay. So we just had the homecoming parade. Oh,
Nutrition.
hello. You didn't turn off your phone. So unless that's the VA,
Yeah.
yeah, somebody wants to talk to you. Okay, so it's just me for a little bit.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, it's true though. But we just recently had the homecoming parade. Goes right past my shop. All the parades in town go right past my shop. And I have to say, I mean, if you want to feel like things are okay in the U.S., is having this hometown parade thing go by, because they start with the little tiny peewees. I mean, the tiniest little part of the football team, which apparently starts at 3 years old. So they have these little tiny kids with giant pads, and then they have the little tiny cheerleaders with the bows this big on their heads. And then they go through all the, they're all on fire trucks and everything. And then you have the homecoming princesses in their dad's, sitting in the back of their dad's tricked out pickup truck and everything. And I was looking at this and I was watching the progression of the growth of the kids, and by the time you got to the football player, the varsity football players, these guys were huge. Of course, they're, a lot of them are ranch kids out here, right? But they were enormous. And this is, I was looking out at the road from the shop. I was like, damn, these kids are enormous kids. And it could be just, not the greatest selection, because obviously you select for large on the football team, but it was still the rest of them, like the volleyball, and the girls are all incredibly tall too. So
they're
good,
bigger
healthy
now.
farm kids.
They're bigger now.
Yeah, they are.
But one thing that I noticed, I was looking at pictures of the 1964 Iowa Park High School
Oh man.
football team.
Yes.
They're in their pads, their
Mhm.
uniforms,
Yeah.
and these are 16, 18-year-old kids,
Hmm.
and they look like men.
They do. They look like men.
And you look at
Oh,
pictures of
Mike,
the
stop
same pictures taken today of the high school team,
Yeah.
and they're boys, and it's amazing the
It's
difference.
different, right? So Mike is sitting here going, "I was genetically robbed." I said, "But something about guys who are not the average, but maybe just a little under that." I will say the little ones are far more dangerous. I
Well,
mean, because a little guy will kill you. So,
little guys got short man syndrome, and they
well,
will,
not all of them. Not all of them. So,
as a rule of thumb,
Mhm.
if the guy is 5'4" to
Mhm.
5'6",
mhm.
he is ready to fight right now.
Well, to make
before
it
you
clear,
before you've given any
well,
offense.
Harlan was 5'4". I mean, Harlan was 5 feet 4 inches tall, and he, like I said, he took it to the wall on the very first step. I mean, yeah. So it was. Well, and Dave West, I don't think he's 5'2", because I was standing looking straight at him, and I'm 5'4". Although people think I'm taller, probably just because of attitude, right? So, but it was interesting.
I don't.
Yes, Mike, you do take up a lot of space. All you have to do is open your mouth, but it's personality too. I mean, it's like, I think what you weren't robbed so much in genetics, it just got applied to different areas, in terms of just force of personality. So,
Well, one of the things about it is I have no trouble seeing you as 5'4",
mhm.
but it's because I look at the women that are involved with our group,
right.
and you are the tallest, I think.
Well, no, actually, I'm not the tallest. Dorothy's
Dorothy.
a little taller than me. Yeah, but Cedar's shorter than me, and so is Julie. Of the ones who live here, yeah. Dorothy's the tallest one here,
But not by much.
but not by much. So anyway,
It
you know.
just so to me, seeing you as 5'4" is no problem
Yeah.
because well, she's taller than Cedar. She must be 5'4".
it must be 5'4" because I'm taller than Cedar. But but we all have force of personality on our side too. I think we do.
Oh yeah, if I
Right.
had to choose these most forceful personalities in our group here.
Yeah, and Cedar was pointing out that Dorothy doesn't stand up straight. So
But if I had to pick
yeah.
out the most forceful personalities in our group here, guys wouldn't come into third or fourth at the
yeah,
earliest.
no, I mean the women here, we're definitely have some attitude. So.
Yeah.
And Jim appears at exactly the right moment. Good job, Jim. Good timing. Now you're talking about force of personality and tall women. But so how's your Pogue 1 story going? How's your writing going? You getting that done?
Yeah. Slowly.
Slowly?
About 4,000 words. I put up a quick
Nice.
snippet this morning on my blog to get comments
Oh, excellent. I haven't seen your blog yet this morning. Sorry, I've been busy.
because I'm trying to figure out whether I'm putting too much detail in or not enough.
Oh, well, there you go.
'Cause
Yeah.
like we discussed, I had to rewrite some of it because I knew it was too much detail.
So how did you know that? I mean, just for the writers,
Because I
edification.
read it and looked at it and went, crap, this is stuff that only somebody that bends metal for a living would know about.
Okay. So you're telling, not showing.
Yeah, I was telling, not showing.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can get so deep in the details.
Mm-hmm.
How many people know what TIG welding is?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, but know what TIG stands for.
I have no idea.
tungsten.
I don't know.
I used to know.
Tungsten inert gas. What's the gas?
Starts with an H.
Inert
It's
gas.
argon.
Argon.
Yeah.
Argon. It's the pirate gas.
Yeah.
So
But I jumped over a lot of things.
yeah.
And talking about English wheels, talking about
Oh,
benders.
yeah.
It was too much detail.
Too much. Yeah.
So what I backed it out to try to simplify it. But at the same time, I don't want to lose the continuity of the story.
Yeah.
And this takes place in the 60s on an aircraft carrier.
Ooh, okay.
So there are terms like soup,
Mhm.
film.
Yeah.
The question is, would a younger person reading that know what souping meant?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know it because I was living in,
Yeah.
in the Navy in the 60s. So I'm familiar with that,
Yeah.
but it's
even
not
if you were
something,
alive in the 60s, someone my
it's
age,
not common knowledge. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with the Navy. I figure, in the Army, only fools and bird crap fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
Anybody that anybody that can't get out of their vehicle and walk home
Yeah.
is in the wrong kind
Yeah,
of
some
vehicle.
people feel that
Yeah.
way. So okay, so were you able to like clean it up some or
I cleaned it up quite a bit.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Steve, you know what the mixture is. What's the pressure per hour on it?
I didn't even know that there was pressure per hour on it.
Yes.
So I have no clue.
Otherwise, you use all your gas in about 2 minutes, and you have blowing going on.
Yeah.
Or you don't get enough gas out, and it might as well not be using TIG.
So
Well, the tungsten. Oh hell! I started it.
see, now you're going to go off into the detail, which is the stuff you wanted to take out of the story because it's too much, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that kind of, I have to tell you, sometimes when guys launch into what I refer to as baffle gab affectionately with all the veterans I get stuck with working at the press.
The problem with the detail you're talking about
Mm-hmm.
is not that he's using it in a story.
Mm-hmm.
He's using it in the wrong story. It's a short. He doesn't need it in a short.
Well,
That's
yeah.
for a
To me,
novel.
yeah. The question is, can you explain enough
Yeah.
that it makes sense to somebody who's reading it so they can get the
Yeah.
why? So that's a hard thing to do sometimes.
It's
So,
very hard
yeah.
because
Just if you live inside that world, it's hard to step out of it.
Right.
And, yeah.
And if you're living inside that world, sometimes you can't explain things simply because you know that's what you do, or maybe you don't even know what your hands do things while your mind is
Yeah.
over here.
I have that problem when I'm trying to explain. Well, Rita was here working on a dress on Sunday morning, and I just rattled off how to do something, and she went, "Huh?" I'm like, "Oh, okay," because you live in the world.
Yeah.
So
Steve, that's a good point. You could
Mhm.
also do it with MIG with shielded wire.
Mhm.
But the issue is on the carrier in those days, the TIG unit was smaller than the MIG unit.
Mhm.
The TIG unit required a forklift to move.
Oh, okay.
They're big.
They're 3 feet high.
So
3
whatever
feet
you're
wide,
welding, you have to bring to it as opposed to taking the thing to it to whatever needs to be welded, right?
except if you're
Mhm.
going to do that in the frame of an aircraft,
Mm-hmm.
you've got to move that TIG unit to the aircraft.
Oh, so it slows things down.
It slows things down.
Yeah.
But another problem is today, a TIG unit you can pick up and carry. They're
Yeah.
that small.
Now ones. Yeah.
So making sure that the equipment fits the story
Mm-hmm. Get your time frame right. Yeah.
is the time frame and those pieces and parts. Thank you, Rick.
Well, it's the
Uh,
same as making sure the clothes are right. You know, you got to make sure the equipment's right. So
Exactly.
It's
doing your research.
It's
So-
like there's a famous picture of a 5 megabyte hard drive being moved in
Right.
the 1960s or early 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's being moved with a forklift because it's
There's no other way.
it was
Yeah.
6
Yeah.
foot by 6 foot. It was a 6
Yeah.
foot cube.
It's true though. I mean, it's which leads to the larger thing of how much of your research do you put in.
Yeah.
To make
And-
sure you have the frame, but not the
And Rick makes a point about just use welding for short.
yeah. But it may matter if it's TIG or depending upon what.
Well, it does
Yeah.
because of the story, because it's
Yeah.
an aircraft frame,
Mhm.
which is going to be aluminum.
Yeah.
And really, the only way in those days to weld aluminum was TIG,
Mhm.
and it was
Yeah.
very
Right.
specialized.
So all of that, it's amazing how much you have to think about this when you're doing a story, right?
Well,
Yeah.
So
Something else you have to, okay, for a lot of readers, yeah, I came over and did some aluminum welding with the rig, would be enough.
mhm.
The problem is you have to get into how much of this is the interest of the reader
Mhm.
and how much of it is because this is something I'm really into.
I'm really excited about this. I want to write about it. Yeah.
But it's also a Poe 1 story.
Yeah. So it has to
It has to have that extra level
because
of
Because-
expertise.
because you have to demonstrate his expertise at the same time.
Right.
And how do you find the balance?
Yeah.
Right. That's a hard one.
And that is the hard one because,
Yeah.
you know, the analogy that I told Lisa, I've come to believe is more and more valid. A short story is like a caricature you get at the fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's broad strokes, broad outline,
hmm
very few details.
And just enough to
Yeah.
no
establish
character
it.
building, basically.
Well, you
what
can.
the characters are is what they are, not you.
Well,
don't
okay,
spend-
since it's Frederick Brown's birthday, you should go read him about how he creates that
Yeah.
exact thing in the least amount of words
Yeah.
possible. So I mean, he can give you an entire universe in one sentence, and
Yeah.
he sets the frame in one sentence
Yeah.
for the rest of the story. So
Well, for this
yeah,
story, the
yeah.
denouement comes at the end.
yeah. Oh, see, there you go. So,
So I'm doing a twist on that too.
oh, fun. Okay. You used a fancy word.
Yeah.
So, weren't we talking about that at dinner?
Yeah.
Well,
What does that word mean?
He was an orifice in the Navy.
Well,
so,
so there you go. Right. It's just like, but he was a
But-
Mustang, so we'd expect some more plain spoken
Yeah,
out of him.
yeah,
so.
but the orifices all have to, they've got so
Yeah.
many fancy words they've got to use a day just to prove that they're officers.
Yes. Right.
Robert, that's another good one. But a short story is basically a
Twilight
Twilight
Zone
Zone episode.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's actually a good line, Kermit. The
Yeah.
cat was oddly quiet today. That would be Henry, which of course leads to all kinds of things. Because if Henry's being quiet, something's wrong. He's either dead or he's stuck somewhere. So
He's stuck behind the stove again.
no, actually now it's stuck behind the giant TV. So he's decided we moved a bunch of stuff around. Now he's decided behind the giant TV is great, and he sits there with you can't see my paws. It's like actually I can, but whatever. So
Well, it's warmer.
oh well.
Are you saying he's like the toddler that as long as he can't see you, then you can't
Right.
see him?
Yeah.
Can't see him.
Well, that's all animals.
Yeah. You're not there. I
Yeah.
don't see you. You're not there.
The dogs
Kinda
under
silly.
the couch or under the coffee
Yeah.
table.
Yeah. Rick, I don't think he could push it over because he's down to 9 pounds and the TV is like a 50-inch one.
Yeah.
It's huge. So he could try, but he's lost so much weight
Yeah.
just because he's old and creaky. So
Would you quit talking about me and Jim?
I know, right? Surrounded by you guys. So swear to God, guys, here at the
I'll
shop.
have you know this belly is bought and paid for
Yes.
many times over.
It's
I'm
also old
quite
and
amused.
creaky.
Okay, guys, because at the shop here I get the little old man report, because they all wander in and I don't get hellos. I just get a "Ugh," or something. It's like, and what hurts today?
Yes.
So right? It's like, okay, guys, it's kind of amusing, I
Yeah.
have to admit.
Oh.
And we've got a storm coming, so we're all achy and
Yeah.
miserable and grumpy. So
And I don't tell you what's hurting today because I don't have that much time.
Yeah.
no, you don't. It's like, oh look, he's still alive. He came in the door, so he's still here. So
Talk about animals hiding, though, reminded me of the story of my German Shepherd, Rex. 120-pound German Shepherd, big dog.
wow.
He was
Lots of
German.
organ recitals. Yes, Rick. It's just
German
oh.
German Shepherd. And his favorite thing, other than being a lap dog, was to hide under the coffee table
Okay.
when he was a puppy, which he could do
Yes, when he was a puppy.
when he was a puppy.
Yeah.
And he tried it when he was about a year old. He
Sure,
got
that
under
was-
the coffee table.
Sure, that was hilarious.
I'm just imagining him getting up and walking away.
With the coffee table.
Well, he got up and the whole coffee table went thud
Of course he did.
with everything on top of it now on the floor, which was both the girls' dinner and my beer.
Hmm.
Oh, so he had.
Oh no, that's
So this was planned. This was not an accident.
He had floor d'oeuvres.
Fleur d'oeuvres. I like that. That's a good
I have
phrase.
never seen a dog. Well, it's the old 5-second rule,
Yeah. Wait, mhm.
except when you have a 2-second dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
2-second
Rex,
dog.
Rex
5-second
was a
rule.
2-second dog.
Well, yeah.
That son of a bitch ate an entire pot roast once
Yes.
that was sitting all the way back in the
Mhm.
kitchen against the wall.
Yes.
And he somehow got up there,
Mhm.
got that whole pot roast and ate it.
Determined.
And I come back in and he is laying on the floor going, "Whoop, whoop."
So Tim's big dog was
Yeah.
half border collie, half Great Dane. Really wonderful dog. His name was Roscoe. Smooth coat. Great dog. Good personality. Came home with a rack of ribs, a raw rack of ribs. We live in the country,
Yeah.
right? We're like, so somebody was missing those. So
I'm just trying to imagine the logistics of a border collie, which is a very small dog,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
Not
actually,
tiny,
Well,
but
they're not.
small.
They're decent sized dogs, but yeah.
and
But-
it's a Great Dane. The logistics, they were both interested in helping the other one complete the job.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to tell you though, he was one of the best dogs ever. Roscoe was a great dog, and liked to circle. Imagine a half-size Great Dane
Yeah.
going in circles all the time. But oh my God, he was beautiful, wonderful, wonderful guy. So
Rick, I cannot imagine 2 Great Danes under one coffee table.
no,
I can't imagine them getting under the coffee table to start with at their
No.
size.
Well,
no.
I can't imagine
It's like
2
having
Great
2
Danes
horses in the
fitting
house.
under any coffee table I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It'd be like having 2
There's not
horses in
enough-
the house. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
not
There's
even.
not enough
so-
room left to right for 2 Great Danes to
No.
get under a coffee table.
right?
Well, Rick just said dogs would walk up behind somebody sitting on their sofa and drop their head on their shoulder. friend of mine that I served with had the Great Dane.
Yeah.
That damn dog would do that.
Yeah.
He could sneak up behind you on the couch and thud,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, fine.
Yeah. They don't live very long.
No.
They only live like
But
8.
they're wonderful dogs.
They are
7 or 8
marvelous
years.
dogs.
Yeah.
Marvelous dogs. So really, oh look, it's windy. My roof is making noise. How nice.
As
So
long as it's still there to make noise.
I mean,
Yeah.
as we're watching the dust fly by out there,
Yeah.
look at that. That's
Yeah.
pretty impressive.
It's doing 40 knots.
Yeah. Kind of fun.
Yeah.
Which explains why my eyes are watering because I know
Yeah.
the dust is like in the air. So
Slobbery lips on your chest. Yes.
yeah, I don't. The dogs that drool though, not interested.
Rottweilers are worse than
Oh my
Great
God,
Danes
they're
for
awful.
drooling.
Nothing,
Awful.
nothing like you're sitting on the ground,
Mhm.
and someone's Great Dane comes up and lays their head or their chin on your top of your head,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
they're drooling straight down into your hair.
Rottweilers are worse. So I just ugh,
My youngest
drooly
daughter
dogs.
had a Rottweiler. Oh, we called him Vito. He was a big Rottweiler.
Fido. That's a great name for a Rottweiler. Fido.
And every time I went out there, it was throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll throw the ball. Well, he slobbered.
Ew.
So he'd bring the ball back, drop it in my lap.
Ew.
Yeah.
Just ew.
And my daughter said, Daddy, we need to go to the store. And I looked down and went, not till I change pants.
Gotta go change. Yeah. Well, it's just like no, just ew. Not.
What's worse is when they want you to take it away from them.
Yeah.
So they're holding it in their teeth for you to take it away
Yeah.
from them.
God, I have to tell you,
And you get a hold of it and they back their head up and it just goes boop.
slurp.
I threw the ball and it went into the field to the next to the house where they live. And he went in after it and couldn't find it. So he came back with a 6-foot fence post.
Okay,
And it's like,
found the stick. Yeah.
I looked at him, looked at the fence post, went, I ain't throwing that.
Nope. Just no.
Yeah.
Not happening. So they're cute. No, that is the wind making noise. That's not Stanford. So
Well,
it's like
maybe.
So they're giving you crap here on
Yeah.
the thing here.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's normal.
That's not Sanford grumbling in the background. That's the wind.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it's a windy day. I kind of like blustery days, but
Yeah.
it feels like fall.
And the other thing Rottweilers love to do is lean.
Oh, they do. Yeah.
They
Yeah,
are
They're
leaners.
sweet. So
Well, when you got 90 pounds leaning on you,
yes.
Especially if it leans on the back of your knees while
Yeah.
you're not expecting it.
yeah,
Hello.
yeah.
So yes, it's fun.
Selective breeding for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only ones that I've ever seen that don't do that are cane corsos.
Oh yeah. So there's a lady in my neighborhood who's like can't be 90 pounds.
Yeah.
And she has one of those, and he is enormous.
Yeah.
He's a huge dog, and he's like, "Arr." He looks like a transformer dog,
Yeah.
but you can tell he's just a love bug. But he's very aware of
Yeah.
everything around him.
He's
I mean,
a love bug with her,
with
but not
her.
with anybody
Well,
else.
yeah, I mean, she just walks in on this leash, and I'm like, if he wanted to, she could ride that thing. He's
Yeah.
so huge. And I asked her, I said, "Can I come pet your dog?" She said, "Yeah, sit down." And he was like, "Oh, okay,"
Yeah.
but he was scanning, but huge. He had to be like 160 pounds. He's an enormous dog. So
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had one growing up. It was a cross between a bull mastiff and a Russian wolfhound.
oh
And I have pictures of me riding that thing as a
Yeah.
5-year-old.
yeah. I mean, so, off we are to dogs.
Of course,
Dogs are
part of
wonderful.
it depends on your
No,
definition.
Ted,
of,
it's not last Saturday's chili. That was mild.
part of it depends on your definition of a big dog.
Yeah,
Y'all knew Trixie, my dog.
Trixie's a great dog.
She was.
She's a great dog.
I never thought of her as a big dog.
Yeah.
I had to when it was time to talk about things like lifespan and how much medicine to give her, or whatever. But I thought of her as a small dog.
Yeah.
She actually weighed 50 pounds.
She
Yeah.
was
Or
solid.
60. 60 by the time.
Yeah.
And I consider that a small dog.
Yeah, she's not that big a dog. She really wasn't.
Well, she was short.
But
yeah.
she had good mass. I
Yeah.
mean, she was stout. She was a stout dog.
But,
So
she was, to me, 50, 60 pounds is a small
no,
dog.
he's a small dog.
Whereas to most people, a small dog is the ones that will fit in the purse.
Those are not dogs.
No, those are overgrown rats.
They're overgrown rats. They're yappy little. Anything that's a yappy little thing that fits in a bag, not a dog. A poor example of what was done to dogs with genetics. So,
Yeah.
course, I might have problems with that because my mother had one of those gappy little things. So my mother had a Chihuahua named, of all things, Bowser when I was in grade school. I know, right? I mean, we had Tio, my 25-pound precursor to Maine Coon cats, and
Yeah.
Tio was like, "Oh, you brought me home an hors d'oeuvre." He went to take a chunk out of this damn dog, and the dog barked at him. He was like, "What is this rat?"
Yeah.
Mom would make scrambled eggs for Bowser in the morning. We got
Yeah.
cold cereal, and if Bowser didn't like them, if they weren't just right, Bowser would pee on them.
Oh,
Like, this
good.
is not a dog. This is like a rat being overly demanding. It's just awful little things. So
Yes, Rick, Akitas are fluff monsters.
yes, they are. And don't own anything black.
Friend of ours had. Friend of
Akita's
ours.
gonna have bad attitudes too if they're not raised right.
Well,
so,
they had three.
yeah.
They had male, female, and the son, which was Tank.
hmm
And Tank was pure white.
Oh man,
And for some reason, Tank liked me.
of course. Were you wearing dark colors?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had on jeans. But-
There are three breeds of small dogs that I
Yeah.
cannot stand. Chihuahuas, simply because they will bite anything. They don't like anybody, and
Yeah.
They're obnoxious little bred
they're
for.
obnoxious.
They're horrible. So
Dachshunds because they're Chihuahuas with a little extra length on them.
Yeah.
and they yap endlessly. I mean, and they can be cute, but they also yap endlessly.
And they
And,
also have severe back problems all
they
the
have
time.
all kinds of issues.
And-
Yeah.
Small poodles. Now, when I say that a standard-sized poodle is
Standards
a
are
fine
fine.
dog,
I'm going to add one more to that. Shih Tzus, obnoxious little shits.
Yeah.
So
I haven't had much experience with those.
I've
and I
had
want to
way
keep
too
it
much
that way.
experience with them, and I just disgusting little animals. So I may have an opinion. So,
Yeah.
Oh.
so
Of course, there are big dogs I don't like.
mhm.
Have you ever had an Irish setter?
Irish setters are dumb.
Dumb
They're like
as
the
a
blondes
box.
of the dog world.
Yeah.
I mean, they're idiots.
They will chase a parked car and get bumps in their head.
Yes, I mean they're just the dumbest things ever. So,
And our dog trainer steps in and says, Dachshunds are German. Of course they're bossy.
mhm.
You're exactly right, Greg.
Yeah. Well, yeah, your Irish setters have been bred for beauty. They've not been bred for intelligence, which
Yeah.
is a sad and sorry thing. But yeah, no. I prefer mutts.
They're dumb like a fox, though.
Yeah, what, Irish setters?
Yes.
How many of you actually met?
I've
'Cause
met
I've
one
met so many of them.
that
And they
was
were,
smart enough to open the damn refrigerator
oh, okay. So
and
food
pull
based.
the meat tray open
Uh-huh.
and eat the hamburger out of the meat tray along with the sausage that was supposed to be breakfast.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no.
The Irish setter I had finally died from complications of,
Stupidity.
well, it was the third time he had tried to go into the badger's hole.
Oh,
He'd been
Badgers-
healed up twice from that.
Badger's going to win that argument. So, yeah, because not fun. So, anyway, but dogs, we've wandered.
Yeah.
So, not all dogs who wander are lost.
Yeah.
So, some are very, very annoying. So,
Dachshund Beagle mix acts like a Dachshund and bag.
the
And
bay's like a beagle.
Yeah.
I will say beagles can be very sweet dogs, but damn, are they noisy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Ooh.
when I was a kid growing up, you didn't have purebreds.
No, you just have mutts.
you had
So,
mutts.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't find those anymore. I mean, not
You can. They do
You-
exist.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, my daughter's dog, who's got the size, brain the size of, he shares a neuron with Obi.
Yeah.
Because it's obvious they're sharing the same neuron from distance, right?
Yes.
Same attitude, but no barking. He
Yeah.
doesn't bark at all. But he's quite possibly the dumbest dog, but he so wants somebody to tell him what to do.
Yeah.
Reminds me of some people I know. Anyway, but
TC's comment about beagles. Dig, 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 bark, bark, bark. Yeah, that's about all they do.
yeah.
well.
It's
No,
like-
you have to name it. There are only two proper names for a beagle. Well, three. Snoopy because of the
Well,
comments.
yeah.
But other than that, they should either be named Ranger or Rover because they're going to.
Mm-hmm. Tim's was named Biscuit. So
The other ones that will do that are escape artists are huskies.
you know what's worse? It's Jack Russell.
Oh, fuck.
Okay, that's again we're talking in not a dog. That's
I will tell you, Jack Russells, if you are very firm with them and you work with them and they're working dogs, they need to be doing something, they're great. But if they're not, they're obnoxious little shits.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And they will escape. They
Mhm.
are friggin' escape artists.
Okay, so stair step dog training. Who are you in? He's trained over 170 breeds. What's your list that
Yeah.
you would own? So
Yeah, Greg, what's your good list?
Yeah, what's a good dog that you would get? Because for me, it's always been mutts. So,
Well, mutts are great.
Yeah.
Trixie was a mutt.
Huskies are drama
oh my
queens,
God,
yes.
Huskies are drama queens. They're worse than actors and tenors. I'll give you that, because they are tenors technically,
Yeah.
with the way they go on. So,
Well, we did have hunting dogs down in Louisiana. We had blue ticks and Catahoulas.
oh yeah, Catahoulas are great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna, but yeah, yeah. Well, Tim always has terriers.
Yeah.
Because terriers, if they respect you, are good dogs. But if they don't respect you, Airedale, yeah, those are good dogs too.
Yeah.
Bull Mastiffs are fabulous dogs.
Well,
So,
the dog
Dutch
I would like
Shepherds.
to have,
Yeah.
mhm.
but
What
it's
would-
not socially acceptable these days.
what is a pity?
I love pits.
I love pit bulls. They're the best. They're cuddle bugs.
But if you have a pit bull, suddenly you can't get insurance on the house.
I know.
and
It's all reputation when it's really just about the individual dog. So
Schipperke Rat Terrier Cross. Oh,
those are cool.
that
Those are
is-
great dogs.
That is my mother-in-law's.
that's what
dog.
Cedar just said.
Yeah, Airedales are but they have to be hunting dogs. I mean, so many people get dogs and expect them to just sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
You know, dogs think they're supposed to do something. I mean,
Especially if you got a working breed.
Yeah.
well, and they're like toddlers. You got to keep them busy. You
Yeah.
know. So I mean, just not fun. Anyway.
Oh, a
skip
husky
rats.
and an Australian cattle dog mix.
Oh.
Oh, that's a drama queen and then
Oh,
some.
that just no.
That's a drama queen that gets pissed off and rewires your house.
Yeah, pretty much. And hates all your neighbors. So you better not have neighbors. You
Yeah.
better have room to rent.
I have to say that Trixie was supposed to be mostly blue heeler,
Yeah.
and I'm very fond of blue heelers just because of her.
Yeah. Blue heelers they're very loyal.
Blue
Very-
heelers are
They're intense. They're really intense dogs. But they're intensely loyal at the same time.
yeah, but blue heelers are nothing more than the same thing as a Malinois in a different package.
Yeah, just smaller. And
With a herding instinct that a Malinois does not have.
and they're sort of like they're like the little Japanese grandmas.
Yeah.
With their intensity, right?
Oh yeah.
And it's time.
Well,
We're
I
done.
couldn't, I couldn't have another heeler though because I can't walk
Yeah.
them the way I
Yeah.
did
Mhm.
Trixie.
Anyway, okay.
Sheepdog, yes, they will herd anything, including kids, adults.
Kids, adults,
Ducks.
ducks,
ducks, cats, you name
something to do. Anyway,
Well, thank you for sticking with us today, folks.
Weird
Donna,
day.
thank you
Wondered-
for helping.
yep, happy to help.
And
I have to go back to work now. So
Healer's a trailer park version of Malinois.
mhm.
Smokes unfiltered cigarettes and drinks bourbon. Bottom shelf whiskey. Yes,
That is so true. Okay, that's a
you
good
nailed
point,
that
Tim.
one, Greg.
That's good.
Remember,
Okay.
folks, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't sweat the petty stuff. Go vote.
Go
I don't
vote.
care who you vote for.
And let's
Go
look,
vote.
and let's look forward to riot season next week.
Yeah.
So okay, guys.
See ya.
Ta.
Bye.
I have to go back to work.
Yeah.
I have so much I have to get done.